Spirits of St. Petersburg presents Royal Palm Cemetery. It was a warm day in mid-May when we went to the Royal Palm Cemetery, and of course the irony of this sign in front of the cemetery was not lost on us. This cemetery was established in 1921 on First Avenue South, and investigating the cemetery is a more daunting task than it may seem because there are 55 acres and 20,000 burials. But we were there to find the grave of Thomas Rowe and his wife, Mary, and both are interred at this cemetery. Thomas Rowe is the founder and manager of the Don Cesar, and there's some mystery around his death because some stories say he died in the lobby, some say on the first floor, and some say on the fifth floor, and there's an idea that he and his wife were estranged, and yet here they are buried together. In order to facilitate our conversation, I did find a couple of paranormal triggers from the grounds of the Don Cesar, which included a shell and a little piece of concrete. Here we are at the grave trying to communicate while playing some of his favorite music from when he was alive.
So we got a spike and her rod's crossed.
Reset, please.
Oh, look at this.
Mary, are you also here? Strong, yes. Very strong.
Very strong.
Reset, please.
How are y'all getting along in the afterlife?
Thomas, are you loving this music right now?
Is that a yes?
Yes.
Strong yes. It's spiking there too.
Reset, please.
Look out behind you.
Does anybody want to ask anything?
So the confusion was over your death, Thomas. So can you verify one more time that you had a heart attack in the Don Cesar?
Did you have a heart attack in the Don Cesar?
There's a blip on the meter.
Crossed.
What was that?
Star Trek.
Star Trek.
Yeah,
I know. It's
I got a strong yes on that.
all right, Thomas.
Did you,
On the first floor?
yes, did you die on the first floor?
No, already.
Did you die on the fifth floor?
Reset, please. Reset, please.
We got a little
Small
spike.
blip.
Say again.
Did you die on the fifth floor? Strong yes.
So it's an urban legend that you died on the first floor.
Did you die in the lobby?
Did you die in the lobby?
Okay, so it was fifth floor.
Okay. Even though Rowe didn't clear up any of the confusion, we did find out that people see an 1800s military man marching through part of the cemetery, and that there's an old man seen bearing flowers and visiting his wife's grave. The story is that they married in 1922 and had no children, and her death devastated him, so he visited her regularly and still does, even though he too is dead. There is supposed to be an old hag with glowing yellow or amber eyes near the south side of the cemetery, and if you see her, it means that you are next. While the spirits of St. Petersburg were in the cemetery, we didn't necessarily encounter these ghosts directly, but several members did feel like there were two male presences that were not Thomas Rowe in the cemetery on either side of the cemetery from where we were located. People reported a tightness in the chest, a shortness of breath. I myself had dizziness. There were EMF spikes and more. And this basically happened around the grave of William David Futch. So we did attempt to do a brief recording to see if he'd communicate with us.
William Futch. William David. Are you here with us? Recording too. Born January 29th, 1860. Died December 15th, 1925. Have you been watching us?
He was probably one of the first people buried here because I said 1926.
Yeah? Do you have a message for us?
This must have been a prominent family.
There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 members of your family buried here. 7, 8, 9. 9 members of the family.
Those are Stewart's.
Was there a reason you were watching us?
Stewart's could be like in-law maybe, because they're in the same plot. I don't know. Are the Stewarts related to you?
Family tree.
Like sister or something maybe?
It's strange how I'm not getting any more spikes from it.
That's
Like,
weird.
it's been a solid since 0.8, and then it went away.
Have you left us now that we're over here? Do you like watching from afar?
And I just got a 0.8 and it went away.
Did you go to where we just were?
Turn on the.
Okay, I'm going to stop the recording and play back real fast.
Unfortunately, we did not get a lot of results for our investigation, but we did have a nice afternoon at this lovely old cemetery. We did see some really interesting and distinguished graves, such as this one for a local Santa Claus. Bill Jackson happens to be buried here, and one of my team members knew him. And in fact, we even found some potential folks with the same last names that we had. But what really stopped the investigation is when we discovered that we were being watched by this beautiful great horned owl. Investigators love their owls. We even found one teammate's relatives in the Temple Bethel section, and I found a fellow Stark buried there. The cemetery is open from sunup to sunset and is a beautiful location to pay your respects.